children in our communities and our lives. What's more important than that? I'm so proud of our conversation today, so please stay on it. And also, in a moment, how much will this Green New Deal really cost, and will it even do anything? Is there a reason to even have this conversation? Gregory Wrightstone, climate change analyst, joins us next on KABC. Larry O'Connor Show, AM 790 KABC. Stay on hold, please. Y'all have great calls, all of you. And I do want to get to you, and we discussed this. We have the conversation that the entire nation is having in our communities, at our workplace, and in our homes about this plague of mass shootings. I do want to get to your calls, so please keep it right here and stay on hold on KABC. Right now, Gregory Wrightstone. He is a climate change analyst. He is a geologist. He's the best-selling author of Inconvenient Facts. I like that, versus the inconvenient truth. Inconvenient facts, the science that Al Gore doesn't want you to know. He joins us now to talk about the Green New Deal. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's going to be pretty costly. But could we do just a real pivot here to a really topical item with the El Paso shooter?
Sure.
Because it's turned out I've just gotten his manifesto to read it.
Oh, yeah.
He's
a bit of an eco-terrorist, wasn't he? Sir?
He's being driven by, he's an eco-Nazi.
Yeah.
He's a radical environmentalist that wants to improve the earth by killing people, and he thought the immigrants, part of this is that he thought they were harming the environment more than others.
Yeah, it's really not getting talked about. People are just picking and choosing and cherry picking things from this manifesto. I said earlier today on C-SPAN I was on, and I said he was more similar to Thanos from Avengers Endgame, wanting to just wipe out multitudes because of environmental purposes.
Yeah, and I'm not through the entire manifesto, but if we can get rid of enough people, then our way of life can become sustainable. It's things like that. And he admired this guy from Christchurch, New Zealand, who the Christchurch, New Zealand guy described himself as an eco-fascist.
Yep.
And trying to cure the world by killing people. And this is not something that the media is telling us.
But we've seen this dangerous rhetoric from the likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, other mainstream politicians who say, if we don't act, we're going to lose our planet within 12 years. And by act, they mean, well, things like the Green New Deal that you have really analyzed to a great extent here.
Yeah. Now, the Green New Deal, we've got virtually every Democrat candidate's embraced this thing. And it's going to be really expensive. A new study by Competitive Enterprise Institute came out saying it'll be somewhere around $70,000 per household just in its first year, and then somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000 for every year after. But what's not being talked about, Larry, is that's just the energy portion. The big ticket items are the social engineering aspects of the Green New Deal that really haven't been talked about. And it's guaranteed income, guaranteed jobs for all, guaranteed housing. They're assuring food's going to be plentiful for everybody. And these things are going to dwarf the energy portion of this. In fact, there was a study earlier this year that looked at this and looked at what the whole thing was going to cost us. And they looked and they said that the energy portion of this would be $6 to $8 trillion in the first 10 years, just for the energy portion. And the other portion of the social engineering aspects, we're going to run between 66 and 108 trillion dollars. That equates to somewhere between $350,000 to $650,000 per family in its first 10 years. And it's incredible that how many jobs it's crazy.
So let's, though, if we could, return to the original premise here, Mr. Wrightstone, because listen, if there was scientific fact that we knew the planet would be destroyed if we didn't act within the next 12 years or 10 years or whatever it is they're saying, I don't know if we would necessarily be debating about the cost of it because, well, what's the point of not spending $10 trillion if we're going to lose our planet?
I agree with you 100%. If they're right, and what they're saying is we're sitting on the edge of an abyss that we're about ready to plunge into, and the Earth and humanity is going to be devastated, well, then we should do what we can to solve that problem. I agree, but I don't see it. These I can't pronounce it.
Catastrophic.
I call them climate apocalypse events. These climate apocalypse events, I looked at each one of those, and they ain't happening. They just ain't happening. Well, we see these things they're saying is going to get worse are getting better. We see that fires, droughts, and intense heat waves are actually in decline if you look at the science, the facts, and the data. What they do is look at failed climate models and predict what may or may not occur 30, 50, or 80 years in the future. I look at the real world and see that the Earth is thriving and prospering and humanity's benefiting. When I go and talk places, my main theme is how rising temperatures and increasing CO2 are benefiting the Earth and humanity. And that's something your listeners probably haven't heard.
Yeah, no, we sure haven't. But see, now this is what's so frustrating to the average American. I mean, you're a geologist. You've literally been studying the planet for the last 35 years as your career. And so we aren't. We rely on people with a basis of fact and science to be able to say, listen, this is the deal. This is a problem. We have to solve it, and here's how we solve it. Why is there so much conflict on this? Is it really just because there's big business in it?
Yeah, that's part of it. You hear me kind of sigh about that. It's so disappointing, and it really it goes beyond irritating. I get so angry. It's just the corruption of the scientific process that we've seen, and I see it time and time again. And just from my own personal standpoint, I did not set out to write what turned out to be a best-selling book. I set out to seek the truth because I knew as a geologist some of the things we're being told were wrong. Mm-hmm. And as I got into it, I said, oh my God, they're lying to us. Not that they're lying that climate change isn't happening. It is, but it's just that the causes of climate change are primarily naturally driven. Yes, increasing CO2 is a warming and it does some, but adds some warming to the atmosphere. I grant that. I just say it's greatly overwhelmed by natural forces that have been in process since the dawn of time. And what I see are the results of it, again, are hugely beneficial. And it's if we look back in the rearview mirror of history, and we see what's going on for humanity in the Earth, we see everything improving, life expectancy, health, crop growth, just you name it, and it's getting better. They look forward and see nothing but doom, despair, and demise. Yeah. I don't. I'm an optimist. One of the fascinating things in my second book I'm working on right now is a more full exploration of what happened during these previous warming periods. We see that there's a great correlation between the rise and fall of temperature and the rise and fall of civilizations, that in each of these previous warming periods, great civilizations rose up. People food was bountiful, plentiful. If you were emperor during then, you had it pretty good. It's the intervening cold periods that were devastating. Each cold period was accompanied by crop failure, famine, pestilence, and mass depopulation. And that's just opposite of what we're being told. We're being told that, oh my God, we can't have another 1.5 degrees of warming and we're all going to die. Yeah. And that has not been the case historically.
And now they want to act on it in such a drastic way and tag the American taxpayer with the cost. It's troublesome to say the least. That's Gregory Wrightstone. That best-selling book he was referring to, by the way, is Inconvenient Facts, the science that Al Gore doesn't want you to know. And Mr. Wrightstone, I appreciate you joining us. Everyone who tells you that global warming is a problem, they need to answer one specific question. What exactly is the optimal temperature for the Earth? I have yet to get a good answer for that. Larry O'Connor Show, KABC.